until everyone is allowed to enter on the forums and have all the information. As you probably just received, the meeting is being recorded. So if you have any concerns, please let us know. The main purpose of the meeting being recorded is that for whoever was not possible to attend, they'll have the same information as everyone, but I'm very happy that we can have with you live in here. We'll do a quick introduction. I saw that Jane was here. I'm not sure if she's still around.
Certainly am.
All right. So if you don't mind, we'll do a quick introduction from your side. Let me just pass the slide so it's on the right slide so that you can do kind of your quick introduction. So this will be the agenda for today. We're going to do a quick introduction with some welcome remarks to Lyon, doing some introduction of what the mobile robotics competition is going to be about. Again, there will be some space as well for Studica to tell us the exciting news that is coming from their side, we're very happy to have them as a partner once again. And then we will leave some space at the end for Q&A. I believe you could use the QA function on Zoom to start having some questions, and then we address them later on. So without further remarks, and again, I think no introduction is needed, but Jane, I'll leave the floor to you to do a quick introduction.
Thanks, Tiago. And I'm not sure why you can't see my video, but that might be a benefit for you. So on behalf of WorldSkills International, I'd like to welcome everybody to the Mobile Robotics Information Session.
Right, I guess if you join as panelists, it will be possible to enter.
My apologies, now you can see me.
There you go.
Yeah. So on behalf of WorldSkills International, I'd like to welcome everybody to the Mobile Robotics Information Session. As you know, we're in the process of pre-registration or pre-provisional registration. We have about 5 more weeks to go until we'll set the maximum number of competitors per skill, including mobile robotics. So at the moment, well, earlier today when I had a look, there were 15 registrations, but we still do have about 20 more members who need to register across all skills. So for technical delegates or member organisation staff, if you haven't registered yet, I really encourage you to do so. I'm really pleased to let you know about our industry consultation, which has been very successful through the Occupational Standards Development Centre. And through that process and through a proposal from Studica, the skill name will be updated as of 2024 to Autonomous Mobile Robotics. And WorldSkills International is certainly supporting that, because it's more reflective of what the skill is and that it's definitely more industrial than some of our other competitions that we see across the world. In the meeting today, we have Frank Nanfara and Derek Murphy from Studica, who will be leading you through some of the presentation, and also through the Q&A. So thank you to Frank and to Derek, to Studica for your ongoing support of WorldSkills International and mobile robotics in the competition cycle. Thank you very much. And our new skill competition manager, Tiago Caldera, who introduced himself at the beginning. So he's going to be leading the experts and the development of the competition as we move forward in the next 14 months. So you'll hear a bit from Tiago. You'll also, for those who are on the discussion forum, be able to see updates as well that Tiago and indeed Frank will also put on the discussion forum. So as we're all looking forward to Lyon, let's look at a video.
Yeah, absolutely, Jane. So for you that you don't know, Lyon is an amazing city in France. We were lucky to visit it a few times already because of the event preparation. So I will actually look very exciting to receive all of you within Lyon. And besides the photo, there is a small video from the WorldSkills Lyon team that is good to serve as initial inspiration before we start talking only about robots. I think it's going to be an exciting competition that is coming to us.
It all starts with you, the ones who raise standards and pattern every culture, the ones who set the bar high and spread excellence with their hands and their minds. You are the landscapers, the chemists, the welders, the game designers, and many more. It all starts with you from the very moment you commit. You keep following your dreams, empowered by your skills. So come and join us here in France.
Sorry.
The land of passion, know-how, and creativity. WorldSkills Competition 2024 is waiting for you in Lyon, the city of French paladin. Let's show the world the tremendous need for skills. WorldSkills Lyon 2024. Where there is a skill, there is a way.
All right, so first of all, as I said, it's going to be a super exciting competition. We all look forward for it. As Jane mentioned before, again, my name is Tiago Caldeira. For the ones that don't know me yet, I was leaving the small introduction to this bit. Again, I'm the new skill competition manager. I've been working in robotics for now 20 years. I participated in pretty much most of the competitions out there. And I've been involved with the WorldSkills competition since 2015. I was lucky enough to visit the Sao Paulo event. I was supporting during the organization of WorldSkills Abu Dhabi in 2017 and visited Kazan as well as an expert in WorldSkills 2019. After that, I've been also involved in supporting skills in different ways, and it's always a pleasure to help this skill moving forward. So when we had the opportunity, again, thanks again, Jane, for the invitation. I was more than happy to support the teams to move the competition to a new major change, but also I think a lot of excitement. Again, Jane already announced the name change, and it's just the starting point of a new adventure that hopefully all of us will do together. But because, again, mobile robotics is also a skill for the new joiners, I'm going to have a few small remarks to introduce where we are and where we are going. So to start with, when I was Googling what was the best definition for mobile robotics, and we'll go more on detail later on within the Studica aspect of the conversation, it says that mobile robot is an autonomous machine capable of locomotion. Which is interesting. It's an initial point, a starting conversation, but it needs to be much more. And like we said on the video, if there is a skill, there is a way. We need to transform it to be something else. It's a skill that helps create opportunities and support STEM education. It's a way of developing our skills within our countries. It's a way of leading the vocational and the interest of science, technology, engineering, and math. It's a way of bringing technology for everyone. And that's why for us, we are so keen on getting in this journey with you to get to know better about the competition and see how we can apply it, not only inside of the competition, but within your curriculum and within your industry. Of course, I'm going to show you a small video of how it was. This was a nice competition that we organized in Abu Dhabi. Even that I'm Portuguese, I'm working in Abu Dhabi for many years now. So it's, of course, a competition that was close to my heart. And it was a very nice video that was organized back then by the team that summarized a little bit about the competition. And even that it already changed on many details, I think it's important for you to see the amazing energy around the competition. So I'll share now the small video about it, about 2017 Mobile Robotics Competition. But like I was saying, the competition evolved. And as most of you already noticed, even the kit is already different. The concept behind the competition evolved as well. But there are still some steps that we want to take you within the journey to go to the next level. So this is a small video from the special edition that helps to transmit the importance of the skills for the participants and to show a little bit of how the competition is evolving until now.
And WorldSkills, we build the robot to do some tasks. Like our task team is the hospital, so our robot to work in a hospital environment.
For implementation with a big experience to participate and get knowledge and drop the knowledge in our country.
And as I said, you see even the robot styles evolved. If you notice on the first video, there was a lot of remote control being displayed in the video. And one of the things that you notice on this video, there is a little bit more emphasis on the autonomous part, therefore the name change. And there is also a different focus on how you build the robot, what kind of technology you can use. And I think this evolution is very important for the competition. But what's happening now, and that's where we wanted to discuss, is the update on the timeline. I think we received a few people asking of when the kit is going to be released, when is the test project, what kind of information we're going to have before. The good news is for the ones that are waiting for the kit is now available by Studica. And there is plenty of very interesting things about the kit that Derek and Frank is going to mention afterwards. But the key information that I have in terms of the timeline is that the pre-test project is going to be released on C-9 months. So this is 9 months before the competition. And the main change at this time is that the pre-test project is going to have a high-level version of the test project, more to indicate what direction we're going, what is going to be the team, but it's not going to be as detailed as in the past. At this point, we're going to keep most of the secrets all the way to the test project that's going to be announced on the competition. So whenever everyone arrives, they can practice for the skill, they can practice for their use of technology, they can work together as a team, but it's going to be a surprise for every single participant. This way, a team that is just joining for the first time and a team that has been participating for many years in terms of participating countries will start with a blank page, so that make it as fair as possible. Again, the topic of this year competition is sustainability. And one way of assuring sustainability is also to a fair competition, to have a balanced competition. Before, the test project was mostly known in advance. One of the biggest changes for this year is that we're going to have the test project only known during the competition itself. Before, we were focused on the robot demonstration. Most of the marks were depending on if the robot would do what it was supposed to do or not. At this time, we focus on the competitor skills. We're going to check every single detail of the areas that are connected and will be relevant in the industry, as future robotic engineers, future robot operators, and programmers, builders within the area. We want to make sure that the competitor skills is reflected on the final classification. Additionally, because we knew the test project in advance, there were some tasks that were done before. Again, I hope to think that most of the people were doing it on a fairly way, but it was not possible for us to guarantee that. For example, the journal, can it be done by the students or the competitors, or can it be done by the expert or by an advisor or someone else? It was very hard for us to understand who did what and when. Therefore, all the marks this year, or 2024, is going to be based on the performance of things done on WorldSkills events only by the competitors. Like I said, we're going to center the evaluation, the performance on the competitors and bring as fair as we can to the competition. Another unique point is that before, the teams could bring their own hardware in terms of laptops, for example. And these would allow teams to get very advanced laptops, while others would have constraints on the budget and have a less powerful computer. Some teams will have multiple computers and multiple screens. Other teams, again, they could only have one. We decided to level the standard and have a playing field that is fair for everyone. We're doing what other competitions within WorldSkills is doing, which is when the teams arrive, the laptops are already available. They can still use them and test and check if everything is up to their configuration during the familiarization day, but we're going to be everyone on the same stand. We're going to have people competing with the same tools, the same equipment, the same kit, and now the same computer. This way we can focus on their skills. Finally, as you noticed before, most of the tasks were customer driven. We're still going to keep them, but now we're going to introduce more and more industry driven tasks. How often it happens when a new engineer comes to a plant and the robot that they're using is different than the one that we used before. We need to adapt, we need to be agile. How many times it happened on the real industry that even that I trained to learn and to program in C++, we're now using LabVIEW. Or the other way around, I train in LabVIEW, but the company uses Java. This kind of mindset to prepare the students for the future is being addressed within the competition. So a lot of individual tasks will be focused on industry standards with unknown technologies. This again allows people to be ready to prepare for different technologies and to understand that when we arrive to a real scenario, not everyone uses our preferred language of programming or the preferred mechanical strategies. That's the main idea that we are introducing. Finally, within my part, I try to summarize what's going to happen, not only what we're doing already in 2024, but for the future. We're going to keep the sustainable mindset moving forward. We want to make it relevant. So we want people to come from a classroom to competition. Of course, we want people to continue developing and doing extra time after the classroom to be better, to be perfect, to be more agile on the tasks. But the same knowledge that you can teach within the vocational organizations, you can bring it directly to the competition. The idea is not to have a completely different independent training just for the competition, just to solve a specific problem, but to ensure that all of our organizations as members can actually benefit with it. Another key strategy moving forward is open source. We're still limiting it this year, but moving forward, we're going to work more and more on open source. Nowadays in the world, people use GitHub, they use ROS, they use tools where they develop things for the wealth of the community. We want to bring this spirit to the competition, And we're going to have the possibility for every team, at this time is optional, to share their codes and learning lessons at the end of the competition with everyone, so that we can have a better competition the years after. Again, we want the competition to be broad, to be for everyone. We want to be relevant for our country, right? So essentially, I don't care specifically where the country is coming from, which region, what is their main industries. I want to be inclusive. Therefore, you can have an optimized path. It's hard to define on education what is a good ROI, but for me, I want to believe that whenever you're investing on the mobile robotics as a skill, you are getting a clear outcome. What you do on the classroom will be benefiting from the learning lessons in WorldSkills. What you do in the industry can be a consequence of what you're building for WorldSkills. So once you know the topic of this year competition, you could use the same concept to build the robots for your own industry, for your own problems within your own country. And for me, that's a big ROI on the education. Additionally, we want to be more technical. We want to improve overall skills and the competencies of the participants. We want people to continuously develop. Again, we are focused on autonomy in purely mobile robotics. And finally, we want to standardize things. In the future, we're going to have specific software for each module, which means that there will be parts that are a choice for the teams, others will be pre-announced softwares. We decided it was too short to do it for this year, but it's something that we want to introduce moving forward. So that way, like happens in the other skills, if we decide to go for a certain software, then we're expecting everyone to use the same software. Again, the objective is to focus on the standardization and to ensure a fair competition that shows the skills of individuals, to motivate them to be the best version of themselves and bring this knowledge moving forward, not just competing, but growing as students, as competitors, as future engineers. At this point is all for me. I'll pass the word to the team. Right now, I think Frank and Derek will introduce a few slides about Studica. And please feel free to have some questions, and then we'll come back to it at the end. And if needed, I can always come back on the slides and go back to a specific question. Right, thank you. Frank, I give it to you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much, Tiago. And I know there's going to be a lot.
Hang on, he was giving it to me. I just want to say thank you, Tiago, for that. Just for everyone to know, I mean, there's still a lot of what we're talking about is up in the air, and nothing is actually, you know, written in stone about anything. There's going to be a lot of consultation with all the experts and everybody involved. So, you know, not to think that everything's going to change in 2026 and beyond that. It is certainly there's going to be a lot of consultation with everyone. I just wanted to mention that, but go ahead, Derek. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Tiago, are you going to go down to where my slides start for me if you are on the current share? Thanks a lot. Okay, so we wanted to start a little bit and just talk about Studica Robotics and what we do for those of you on the call who aren't familiar with the Autonomous Mobile Robotics Competition and with Studica. So we are a worldwide company. We have several locations. We have several resellers around the world. And the robotics section of our company focuses on robot research and development. Most of this is on the educational sector. We're involved around the world with multiple school systems, multiple universities, multiple colleges, and we do probably 5 to 6 competitive robotics platforms and competitive robotics competitions around the world. With that, we're trying to design a system. We initially designed this system for WorldSkills Mobile Robotics, as it used to be called, or now Autonomous Mobile Robotics, in order to advance the skill, advance robotics knowledge, and to enhance STEM education worldwide. Okay, thanks, Tiago. What is mobile robotics? And it says mobile robotics because I didn't know of the name change until this morning. However, it does say Autonomous Mobile Robotics. So here's a little bit of a description. It is involved in a increasing range of industries. These would include things like manufacturing, warehousing, logistics, healthcare, automotive technology, education, aerospace, and the use of AMRs or autonomous mobile robotics is continuing to grow, which you'll see on some future slides. It uses a combination of artificial intelligence and physical robot elements. We are most used to seeing in our range things like wheels, tracks, and legs. We generally do not do legs in the competition at this time, but that is a core function of mobile robotics. And it is a massive growing market, right? So as you can see, it's 1.67 billion in 2020. And as we approach 2028, this will be an $8.7 billion market, and it will just continue to grow and grow as we go forward. Requires a lot of knowledge for mobile robotics or autonomous robotics technicians and or engineers. It is important that we evolve this competition to stay at the forefront of technological advancements. Hence, we're talking about multiple programming languages. We're talking about increasing the capabilities of the robots that we ask the competitors to develop. However, we do that, of course, within a budget that we're trying to keep this at because it is a learning platform at this time. So there are some core competencies that were looked at when developing the occupational standard. These are many of the core competencies that I have listed here. And you will see that a lot of these core competencies, we will now test the students during the competition to ensure that they are well all-rounded technicians or robotics engineers. Major job function skill sets. So the major job function skill sets were also looked at. Some of these would be to ensure safety procedure, safely, efficiently use tools, install and program and operate the robot. But at the same time, they should be able to maintain, design, and calibrate the robots, and also troubleshoot errors in programming or robot system components. And I think you'll see some of this integrated and going forward into the competition as we move forward to this year and going beyond. And of course, it's very important that all members be able to communicate within their team, with their supervisor, and with their customers. So this is just some of the major job function skill sets. I know that when Skills does the WorldSkills occupational standards, you'll see more. Why should you be involved if you're not involved? Because the future of this skill is now, all right? And the growth in this industry means that there will be a massive amount of graduates required, not only to build robots, to maintain them, to program them, and definitely to keep them functioning and in great demand, right? So worldwide now, they say there's probably 423,000 mobile robots in 2022 out there, or autonomous robots. And that sector is currently limited to things like warehousing and restaurants. But you will see where the growth is across all sectors going forward for the next 8 years, right? And you can see this out there in the real world as you go forward. So this is why you need to be involved now if your country is not involved. So we did release, as Tiago said, the 2024 Lyon component collection, all right? The collection is developed to be able to use in the mobile robotics competition. There are some major changes and minor changes from the previous collection. So every year we get feedback from teams and users. So what we try to do with the mechanical components, as an example, is we try to upgrade and make improvements, okay? So things like new channel is involved that will allow you to change structure going forward. Hubs, we enhance the wheel hubs and make new designs and technologies. We do small changes in the electronics. We upgrade servo motors. So there are quite a few substantial small changes within a collection. Very difficult to see with the pictures. There are also some introduction to new technologies. So in the 2024 collection, we have introduced a 2D LiDAR, and we have introduced a 3D depth camera. So these are two of the major changes going forward. And this will allow us to begin to assess different skill sets. So we're not just going to read barcodes as an example and do identification. This will allow us to bring in mapping capabilities or localization and mapping. It will allow us to do obstacle perception. All right. It will allow us to do depth mapping. And it gives us an enhanced group of what we call sensor sets and sensor capabilities that are more in line with what we see in modern autonomous mobile robotics. How can we help? So we can help you at your country level, at your school level, with support for the equipment, curriculum resources, and customized training. So launching forward with 2024, there will be an enhanced set of curriculum resources that will be available to you. It currently sits at 9 chapters of information and resources, and those will be available going forward as we launch. We can help to provide practice modules and skill set examples. So the idea here is to make a more well-rounded technician. So we are developing small modules to practice the individual skill sets so that your competitors can be prepared. We will help you prepare test projects, and these test projects will be related to real-world applications. So we have a library now of about 13 or 14 different real-world test projects that we can apply to different sectors within the industry. So if you are doing competitions that are going to be for your country or local for a group of schools, we can help you to prepare those test projects to make your students well prepared for the competition. We can help to organize any regional and national competitions, right? And we will begin to host a series of hybrid skills challenges to support international teams going forward to hone their skills. So these may be simple online tasks or online modules that we're putting together, or digital task preparation going forward. One of the examples is that as we approach WorldSkills Asia in Abu Dhabi this year, we are beginning to change the format of that competition so that we begin to introduce some of the new skill sets that we're looking at going forward, right? It will not be a complete change with an unknown test project, but we will begin to start to test some different skills in a different way for those students. So we can help you to do that. They are generic and they are hybrid, and nothing points towards the actual competition, but it will just help you get an idea of how to better prepare your students going forward. And at that point, that was it for me. We can go into questions and answers. I know that there were some in the chat that I was, the last one was Jane, monitoring and trying to answer. So I guess we can open the floor, Tiago. Let's not all jump in at once. Maybe we can put our hands up, and then I'll try to monitor them here for everybody going forward.
Yeah, I think we have the first few hands up.
I can see that. There's a lot of people, so I got to scroll up. All right. So let's go with Mohammed. If you can unmute yourself, and I will ask you to unmute. And maybe you can ask your question.
Hello, can you hear me well?
Yes.
Well, I wanted to ask, what is the best training program that we could take for Studica?
So,
is there courses that you would recommend?
Well, we have our online core skills that we have already done and we have already put together. And going forward, there will be more of those online core skills. So as an example, you know, we have 2D LiDAR right now. which is not included in the training module. That will be added in the future, okay? And we can do that. If you have a specific request through your country and you would like to set up a training program, then we can have that conversation. But I would focus on the core skills. Most of the core skills we've done already in the past, and those are up on our Studica Robotics YouTube channel and everywhere else going forward. And we will add sessions as we prepare for WorldSkills Lyon 2024. Okay.
Just one more addition, if that's okay.
Sorry?
I just have one more addition to my question, if that's okay.
Yes.
In the new competition, you mentioned that you will provide laptops or computers for the students to use. Will the students be given the choices to choose whatever programming language they can program, including Java, C++, or other programs, including LabVIEW, or will they only given, or will they only be given just the two programming languages, Java and C++?
I can answer to this one. So as I said, we are going to go into having less programming language to be easier to align. But on 2024, there's going to be still open book. So Derek and the team from Studica, they are actually helping us to prepare kind of a pre-compiled image where you have the standard installations of LabVIEW, everything that you need from the Java perspective, from C++, and we're checking also how to do it with ROS, if it's through a virtual machine or not. So we're exploring exactly that. So once the team arrives there, they can actually have everything set it up to start working. Of course, each team normally has their own small configuration, small changes, which can be done during familiarization time. So on the C-2, so 2 days before the competition actually starts. So we're trying to do this to keep everything as standard, as equal to everyone.
Yeah, the real concern was with the hardware. Okay, some people had different capabilities with Wi-Fi. Some people had different capabilities with Bluetooth. Okay, having more powerful computers. James and I actually sat down last night around 4 o'clock and began to talk about a spec. Okay, and we will do those testing and we will prepare that image well in advance, which I think I put in the chat for Florent. And of course, we'll get feedback from everybody, and they'll be able to test the same hardware platforms well in advance, and to make sure that everything is straightened away before Lyon 2024. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Who wants to go next? Durrani, do you want to go next? There you are. Perfect. Oh. I can't hear him. I hear fuzz.
Hello.
Oh, there you are. How are you?
Oh, it was me you were addressing. Oh no,
Yeah.
it's Dean Roy. Or you can just call me Mitchell.
Mitchell.
Yeah. I actually just wanted to see the slide that was showing what is new for the changes, new changes. And let's take a quick picture.
We'll post this shortly as well.
All right, thank you.
Go ahead, Roy. You can actually just see all of that on our website at studica.co. You'll see the Lyon kit, and that shows you everything that is included. There's a bill of materials. There's also an upgrade kit, which you can purchase. So anybody that purchased the previous Shanghai or Bordeaux kit, which were the same, you can get the upgrade kit, and that will actually take your existing kit and bring it up to the Lyon kit. So the most important things, besides some of the mechanical structure, are having the LiDAR, the new 3D depth camera, and the wheels, the all-terrain tires, all-terrain wheels. So you can find that all on our website at studica.co.
Yeah, I
And,
saw
yep.
this and I already sent in a request for them early May. Just more like at this point, I'm more interested into the Studica core skills training
Right,
than that your 2D LiDAR.
right. So we are definitely working on the core skills and coming up with actually the specifically different training material for the core skills. So that is something that we are planning to do.
All right.
So just as a note, we will add, of course, the slides and the video to the official, probably as a reply to everyone participating and to send to some of you that couldn't participate. So any questions, we can always refer it back over email. I can see some question on the chat, but let's go to Shukrob. Sorry, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing the correct way your name.
You're right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I have a small question about competition in Abu Dhabi. So if I didn't miss a mistake, you tell that the test project for this competition will given to us. And can you tell when we will have the test project?
I
for
cannot address
competition?
I cannot address WorldSkills Asia right now. That test project, as far as I know, will be out shortly, but this one is for Lyon 2024.
I get it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and again, even that any competition all over the world, it's always a good practice for students and competitors to get aware and to train. All the competitions are going to be disconnected. So the WorldSkills International, so WorldSkills Lyon 2024, is going to have a very unique flavor and set of rules. So it's always good to get practice, but we're trying to make sure that if someone trains in one competition and doesn't go to the other, there is no advantage from it.
Thank you.
So I can answer some of the questions that are on the chat. I apologize, I don't know how to read the Chinese characters. But the competition is, do competitors have to build their own cart mapping using LiDAR? So eventually, it's important that they get familiar with LiDAR technology, but there are different ways and different depthness where how they can use it. They can use just to get some reference points. They can use pre-existing tools. For example, in ROS, there is a lot of pre-developed SLAM packages. So all of those, it's always good for the students and competitors overall to be familiar. But at the end of the day, it might not be any specific task to say, map these and give us the outcome of the map. We'll give some more details of the complexity on the pre-test project. But it's good that people get familiar with the different technologies available on the kit. And I can personally recommend, again, I believe some of my previous teams long ago were one of the first ones using LiDARs within the mobile robotics competitions for WorldSkills competition. I believe one of them was in 2016 in Europe. So it's always a good technology to use. And now we are very lucky to have a sensor as interesting as the LiDAR available on the kit. So I recommend everyone to get familiar with it. Because it's how the technology improves and how the quality of the challenges will improve as well. I can see one question from Paulo. So first of all, hi Paulo, long time no see. Looking forward to meet you again.
Hi Thiago, so, good to see you.
Yeah, a pleasure. Regarding teleoperation, and as we discussed, the direction that we're going is more in terms of autonomy and to have mobile robotics as focus on autonomy. But there will be possibilities of small human interventions in 2024. So don't expect a full teleoperation task with a lot of points on it, but it will be possible to have certain interactions of the robot within the autonomous mode. We'll go on more details on these on the pre-test project, and it's going to be the details will be available there. Similar, and if you allow me to answer the second question as well, the technical description, so TD, for whoever is not familiar, is a technical description. It gives us the overview of the different technologies and areas to be considered. We are going to release it very soon. There is already some feedback that we received from the industry. We've been working on improving it. We're finalizing small details with regarding PPEs, but we're expecting to be released within the next few months, very likely before closing the registration or the pre-registration at least. What I recommend, again, like I said before, I think it's going to be an amazing competition, and especially for the new countries that are always afraid of starting this challenge. I would say that this is the best year if you are the first time participant. This is the first year to start. And we are all very happy to welcome to the family. And the same for teams that used to participate in the past and they are worried with the changes. I can guarantee you it's going to be a super interesting competition. We are moving on a very challenging but very useful area. So I think it's going to be very interesting for everyone. So I look forward to welcome everyone here again. Right, I have one more amazing question. So from Jelani, I hope again I'm pronouncing it correctly. So WorldSkills Barbados, again, it's always good. Like I said, new countries, I'm super excited to receive new countries participating. And I would recommend two aspects. One, of course, is to check the previous test project, see what was been done in the past. But the other one, again, I think we are very, on a good sense, very well spoiled by Studica, our partner, our sponsor. They've been supporting the competition, and again, it's very comfortable for anyone starting to know that you have someone like Studica to guide you to the getting to know the skill and the technology. I seriously recommend, again, this is not a sponsor ad, but I seriously recommend to use Studica courses and products, and not only for the WorldSkills competition, but as a robotic kit to learn about technology to use on the classroom. So I think this is the easiest way to start. But maybe Derek, again, you work on most of those courses, you create them. Maybe you want to add something?
Yeah, I mean, you can contact Frank at any time to set up training for a country or for schools in your country, or get started on a kit, get through the basic training that we've already posted, because it gives some great skill sets for it as you work at it. Or we could work with one of the local colleges in Barbados as well.
If I could just add to that, there's actually a lot of interest from various Caribbean countries. We're already working with Jamaica, but there's a few other countries, could be up to 3 or 4. And that would actually make it really interesting because we could set up a little, I would say, regional competition or training for the Caribbean countries. Actually, it could be more like 5 or 6. So it's going quite well, and I can certainly provide you more information with that moving forward. But if you contact me, so I have your information, I can try to bring everybody together on that.
Yeah, thank you, Frank. Actually, Frank is an amazing contact point, and I think everyone has his email. I can share together with the notes of the presentation my skill competition manager email. But again, we are working close together between Frank, Studica team, of course, Derek and James, and myself. So contact one is we're going to forward between ourselves, so no problem. To answer the question, I think from Alexandro, again, I'm not sure which country. Is it Italy, maybe? Italy. But again, to introduce the skill, I'm assuming that might be one of the new countries. The best way, like I said, is to use pre-existing previous test projects and pre-existing challenges that Studica already created, not only the official ones in WorldSkills, but also the sample competitions and even tutorials from Studica. And this is the best way to start to get familiar with the skill. Like I mentioned before, we're trying to keep it with a fair competition at the end. So a good robot engineer or robot technician would be able to have a very good participation, even if it's the first time participating. But we are looking forward to receive all of you questions, support within the next few weeks. We are here to support the team. I think I have, let me see, there is a question from Paul, is already answered. Regional training and competition will be perfect. Okay, thank you, Giovanni. We can support. Again, maybe Frank, if you could type your email, my email, maybe Derek's email on the chat while I'm answering.
It was in the chat earlier. That's why I put that in there.
Right, perfect. We got also a message from Gibson. Yeah, we'll share the presentation to all participants and even to people that were not here. We want to have everyone available and aware of the next steps. So, and again, this is going to be the initial output that everyone has. But later on, as we mentioned, 9 months before the competition, a few surprises will be revealed as well. But I hope that this presentation helps you to start planning what's to come. I will include also the links to the videos because it's harder to include them on the PDF, but I will include it as links. Okay, I think I went to all the questions. I don't know if anyone wants to comment over audio or to write it as well.
I just want to, tell everybody that and we're working very hard to improve the competition, to make it easier for everyone to not only be prepared for the competition, but more importantly, to prepare or use the competition as a way to teach the skill within your country, because that ultimately that's the goal. The goal is to develop the skill and improve the skill within your country. Being part of the WorldSkills competition is a great way to benchmark what you're teaching in your school and to upgrade those skills, within your country. So, our goal is to help achieve that. And one of the ways we want to do that, is we want to align closer and closer to the occupational standards by providing training material specifically to various skills in the competition. And that material you'll be able to use in the classroom to help drive the skill throughout your country. And that's our big goal. And certainly if anyone wants to contribute to that, we would be very happy to talk to you. So I want to thank everybody for attending. And if you have any questions at all for any of us, certainly if you want to work with me in terms of, talking about how to get started, I'll be very happy to help you as well.
Yeah, just a quick note. Again, I just saw the message from Harold. Again, we didn't went too much on those details, but we have Harold here as well, which is the chief expert for WorldSkills Lyon. Again, it's going to be one of the main experts that are going to communicate with you through the forum. And I guess some of you or most of you already know him. He's been always very active, and it was a pleasure to work with him in the past. And I'm not sure if he's here, but we also already met the team from WorldSkills Lyon that they are supporting on the infrastructure preparation of the competition. So the team has been quite supportive. So the workshop manager is Fabrice, I didn't know if he's here right now, but either way, he's been supporting on the preparation of the competition. So thank you, Errol, for the kind words, and I appreciate to have the opportunity to talk with all of you. I believe that we had over 80 participants, so we look forward to bring this future competition to the reality. And again, as Frank said, this is kind of our ideas to move forward, but we will have time to get your feedback, to fine-tune it, and we want to make you part of the journey, not just for 2024, but afterwards. So before closing, I think we don't have any other question. Just a final thank to our sponsors from WorldSkills. They are the ones making this possible. And a special thank, of course, for Frank and Studica for being supporting the competition from the beginning. And they are the ones helping us to make it better every year. So really, thank you, Frank, and the team, of course, to support us on this journey.
Thank you, Thiago and Derek, and everyone else that's helped out here. Appreciate it. And we'll talk to everyone very soon. And we'll have this sent to everybody that was on the call very, very soon. I'm not sure Christy is actually working on that from our...
No, I've recorded it, Frank. So what we'll do is we'll compress it, okay, properly, so that it's in a small format.
Thank you very much, Derek. Yep. Thank you very much. Okay, everyone. Have a great evening, great day, great morning.